To show you two methods how you can correctly calculate your acid. Today I'll be discussing with you guys about glycolic acid, lactic acid, or any acid in general that is in liquid form. Okay, so what I'm talking about is something like this. We have an acid that is in this form, liquid like this. Okay, so this is completely different from the ones you buy that are in powdered form. And most times, or all of the times, the acids that are in this form have been diluted with water. That's why you have them like this. Their normal form is powdered form. So when you have them like this, it means they are diluted with water. And when they are diluted with water, you don't work with them like you would work with them when they are in powdered form, because now they are less concentrated than the powdered form. It is only the powdered form that is 100%. These ones are diluted. We'll be taking glycolic and lactic acid as a case study, right? So now, if you have acid that is in liquid form, you don't work with them in the form which would work when you're working with a powdered acid. They are different because the powder is in 100% while the liquid is already diluted. A lot of people have problems calculating, or even know, most people don't even know that this liquid acid, they've been diluted. They just think it is pure glycolic or pure lactic or pure any acid that is in liquid form. So when you are working with them and you're calculating them still in 100%, then you have been getting it all wrong. And that might be the reason why your product is not even working like the way you should work. Because in a formulation where you have 7% glycolic acid or 7% lactic acid or any percentage of any acid you're working with, normally you should see results if you're formulating it very well and your pH is in accordance with the acid that you're using. You're supposed to see results. But when you're not formulating according to the percentage of acid that you have, then results will come, yes, but it will take longer time. All right, so today I'll be teaching you how to correctly calculate your acid and making sure that you're getting the right percentage for your formulation. So you'll be seeing me looking down here on my notebook. I have some stuff written down here to make sure that I'm telling you guys the right thing. All right, so the first thing you need to do is know the percentage or know the concentration of acid you're working with. If you are told that your acid is 70%, it means that whatever you're calculating is 70%, so you're not going to work with 100%. I'm going to explain that later on. So let's say actually they're working with 70%. Now, the right way to get equivalent of 100% in that formulation is you do like this. First of all, you get the 70% acid. Let's work with lactic acid 70%. First of all, and you want 7% of this concentration, the 7% of this acid in your concentration. Now, 100% minus 70%, that's how you're going to work. 100%, which is the complete percentage, minus 70% that you have, is going to give us 30%. 100% minus 30% of the acid you're using, which means that even if the acid you're using is in 88%, you're still going to do 100 minus 88. If it is in 10%, 100 minus 10. If it is in 70, just whatever concentration of acid you're using, minus it by 100. Okay, minus it from 100. Okay, so we're working with 70%, so we're doing 70, 100 minus 70, and that's going to give us 30%. So that 30% is telling you that you have 30% of water in that acid. So if I calculate this thing according to 100, and I'm saying I need 7% of this, and I just calculate 7%, it means my formulation is not complete. But you don't even know that formulation is not complete, because 30% of this thing is not lactic acid, it is water. So it means that if you're having 7% in your formulation, 3% of that formulation is water, and you're thinking the whole of it is lactic acid. Okay, so now you have 30%. You now know that you have 30% water in that lactic acid. So what you have to do now is you have to look for the percentage that you want in your formulation by 30. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. Okay, so now you want 5% of this lactic acid in your formulation, or you want 7%, or you want 3%, or you want 2% of this acid in your formulation. Now, you are going to look for the percentage of that water in your acid. Let me explain that again. If you want 5% of lactic acid in your formulation, okay, now you're going to look for 5% of 30% water. 5% of 30% water, and that is going to give us 1.5%. Do you guys understand? Good. 5% of 30% of the water that you have in that lactic acid. So that's going to give us 1.5%. So now when you get that 1.5%, you now go and say plus 5% of what you have gotten. Okay, so you're saying 1.5 plus the 5% that you want to use in your formulation. So that's going to give us 6.5%. Do you guys understand? It means that 1.5, which is the 5% of 30% of the water you have in lactic acid, plus the 5% you want to use in your formulation. So that's going to give you 6.5%. So it means that you're going to be using, you're going to be needing 6.5% of lactic acid in your formulation to give you equivalent of 100%. All right, so that is the first formula. And like I said earlier, it means that if you are working with 100%, you will just go for 5%, right? So it means that 1.5% of that 5% is water. So it technically means that you are using just 3.5% of lactic acid, whereas you think you are using 5%. So you see why your formulation may not work as fast as you want it to work. So that is the first formula. So the second formula is easier than the first one and is more straightforward than the first one. So what you do is 100% plus 30%. Okay, don't forget that your supplier told you that you have 70% of lactic acid. So 70 minus 100 is naturally 30. So you come and say 30 plus 100, that's going to give you 130. All right, so 130 times 5, which is the percentage of acid you need in your formulation. 130 times 5. 130 times 5 is going to give you like 650%. All right, so 650% divide by 100. 650% divide by 100. I'm not going to say 650 whatever, because we are working in percentage. So 650% divide by 100 is still going to give you 6.5%. So you are needing 6.5% concentration of lactic acid is equivalent to 5% lactic acid in your formulation. So that is how you correctly calculate your acid. But the most important thing, the first step you have to do is, first of all, ask your supplier the percentage of acid you have in these babies right here, or any acid that is in this form. If you are using the powder, everything is okay. You don't need to ask questions. You know it is 100%. So when you want to calculate 100 in that 100%. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, turn on your notification bell, so that when I come up with rare content like this, you guys, or you will be the first person to get notified. Thank you guys for always coming back to watch my YouTube videos. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.